People pleasing is a mask and a band-aid that enables dysfunction. You think that it's a go along to get along, good girl, polite, mitigating problems, avoiding conflict. You think that it's serving you in those ways, but all it's doing is putting a mask on bossiness, sadism, mean, cruel, all kinds of behaviors that you think you're not allowed to express. And maybe they're not as exaggerated as mean, cruel, sadistic. Maybe it's just a way that you think you cannot be direct, so you have to have a people-pleasing way of acting so that you are seen as good. Because the biggest limitation to self-awareness is the need to see yourself as good and the need for others to see you as good. And so the people-pleasing mask enables dysfunction because it's just another lie. It is something that while people might see you have the mask and the band-aid of seeming like you're a polite good girl, underneath they can still feel this kind of underhanded resentment, anger, bossiness, all kinds of things that maybe you're not allowed to express. Because women kind of get this training that, you know, being polite is the best thing you can be. Like, and being generous, polite, creating harmony, always having that kind mask. And then it's seen as a solution too, is like always present this way. And in a lot of ways it is important. Of course, diplomacy and tact and peacekeeping are extremely beneficial and important traits for civility and for keeping the peace, yes. But other times, there are times when there needs to be confrontation and there needs to be a direct addressing of things, and it can't just be, if there's a feeling like you can't express anger that's justified or express a need that's justified, then the distortion of having a mask that's saying you're really happy, you're really good, you're trying to go along, get along. Having that mask, you can still feel this whole level of anger, and that anger actually leaks out in other ways. It leaks out by an underhanded way of engaging with people that leaks out cruelty in a way that's actually worse than if you just said up front, hey, I'm really mad at you right now. I'm feeling judged, I'm feeling ridiculed, I'm feeling shame, and so I might let out this side of me. Or, you know, when people, I had a friend when I was 19, she just flat out said, like, I'm so jealous of you, I'm so jealous of that internship you had. And at the time I kind of was like, oh, but then, I mean, that was just refreshing to have that level of somebody that can just own their envy, because no one does. Everyone will find a way to rationalize envy in a way that makes that person bad. You'll never see somebody just say, you know what, I'm so jealous of you. You will see it in a way that's a little bit more kind of a superficial at admitting it, but when it's really deep, people will not admit to envy. And so that friend, I had so much trust in her, and I've been friends with her now, you know, decades, because that ability to just say what she feels without kind of having to cloak it in a mask or a band-aid or have some weird little underhanded, conniving, indirect, passive-aggressive way of expressing it, like, it really helps you feel a lot of trust, and you're not blindsided. Whereas somebody that's always showing you this mask of quote kindness and fawning, but then they're also doing like little digs and underhanded things, and kind of it's just like a leak. It's leaking out. There's something about that that's worse, and that's because we have that good girl mask, and then because we feel as though we can't express anger, frustration, resentment, it comes out in worse ways. And so a lot of people don't even, it's so unconscious that they're not even aware of how it's leaking out anyway. Because we think that people really think that we have good masks and we can fool people, but no, people catch on, they can really feel, but their intuition can pick up on the underlying feeling more than even their conscious mind. So you're never pulling anything over on somebody by pretending to be nice. They can still feel it. They can still feel if there's tension there. So sometimes it is important to keep the peace, but other times it's actually really important to address the tension, to address the problem, and in a way that, in a way that's still respectful, but not in such a way that's like almost sickeningly people-pleasing, where it's just that person just feels actually unsafe, because you can't penetrate any depth and substance beyond this kind of happy girl mask. That's this perma positivity kind of feeling. It's actually terrifying. So when we have that, when we have the freedom of realizing that if we look at people pleasing as something that enables dysfunction because it's a lie, it helps us realize that no, we don't need, that doesn't work in every situation. It works in certain times when we need diplomacy, but in other times it's actually a deterrent. It's actually something that enables dysfunction, creates dysfunction. It's a mask, a band-aid. Short term seems like it's helping, but long term it's creating more denial, more tension, resentment. So just realize that the people-pleasing mask might have been a solution that you came upon in childhood, but now is it really serving you in interactions, or is it actually creating extreme tension? It's worth thinking about.